Welcome back, YouTube followers. Been a while. The last time you see me down on this field, it was April 13th, Friday the 13th. And I thought we were getting ahead of the game. And then this happened. That April was the coldest on record since 1895. Iowa and Wisconsin were the 15 degrees colder since 1907. So 60 days ago, when we planted the clover on the 13th, high expectations, everything looked good to go. Then we had a real bad cold snap. And if you remember, I told the people up north they might forego their plantings because they were covered with snow. Well, the next day on the 14th we got a ½ inch of rain, which was good. And we got on the 15th we got snow. I don't remember it snowing before my birthday in 68 years. My birthday's on the 16th. The snow didn't last long, but the ground temperatures were cold. Now what I'm getting about is I want to show you what happened. Now you remember in the past I told you that the annuals, the perennial is a slow growing, it has to grow its root system underground. And the annual is a fast flash. Well, what you're looking at right there is annuals. Now, the clover did come on, and you can see it down in there. But it came on slow, because that's the nature of the clover. But thank God, it's a 5 to 6 year crop. So you can see how much weed growth we got on here. Now remember, those are annual weeds that they're going to grow up out of the natural seed bank. And it's just a phenomena that everybody's faced with. Another phenomena that we've had also compared to last year, it's the 15th of June. We've had 4.5 inches of rain on this farm already, with more to come. We got exceptional hot temperatures. May was record setting. I don't know how we had 10 or 11 days in the month of May at the end over 90, and we had a lot of moisture. Now what that did to me was back me all up in my work schedule, and being this is sort of a hobby, well, it is a hobby like most of you, things got away from us. But we're going to correct it. It's not gone south yet. We're going to mow it today. And we're going to come back in after a few days, maybe a week, let the new growth start growing. Then we're going to hit it with Slay, kill the broadleaf weeds out, and we're going to make this happen. We're down here in the low ground. The clover is in here. But this is going to happen to a lot of you. Especially if you plant something, you don't get back to it. This is what you're going to be looking at. It's not a disaster. We just got to nurture it, give it some TLC, and bring it back to life. So, like I say, I just want to show you some of the height of the clover here. Now you can see that clover down in there. It's as tall as my boot, but it was at an unfair advantage because it was in competition with these fast-growing annual weeds, and it was a perennial. So what we're going to do is get these mowed off. And here's one over here. This weed here is, I don't know, 5-6 feet tall, at least 5 feet tall. And like I said, if it doesn't work, we'll still have time to regroup. So let's get to mowing this down. But what I want to emphasize in this, and this is what's good, God couldn't create this any better. Hollywood would fail miserably. This is real farming per se. There's no guarantees. You can do everything on the right end like I did. I had the ½ inch rain, I had good dirt, everything was good soil pH. The rain, you couldn't get down in here when it was wet. Plus, it stayed cold. And like I said, that sums it up right there. I don't know how many times you'd have that happen, where it was the coldest month on record after you planted something. And that really delayed the germination of the seed. So even if you do everything right, be prepared mentally and financially for failure. Because you didn't do it, it just happens sometimes. You've seen my successes, but I'm going to be really rewarded if I can turn this around and bring it back online. So let's get to mowing. Well, there it is, all mowed off. If we make this come back, it'll be testimonial on the product Whitetail Institute clover, which is the best there is to put in the dirt. Now, it had an unfair advantage due to the weather, but we'll just see how resilient it is, if we can get a crop made with it. And if not, it's not lost. We can always tear this up and plant a fall annual, and then try to replant it in clover next year. So, you know, it's a win-win, especially for you people. You can see, open and honestly, it don't always happen. No matter how valiant your effort is, sometimes things out of your control take over. And this was the weather. Let's venture over here. I want to show you the clover that we fertilized and the results of that. Now what you're looking at is a 7-year-old Whitetail Institute clover plot. This is where my friend Bobby Gomez shot his turkey on the last day of the turkey season. I believe it was like 18th of May, or maybe the 20th, I don't know. It was something in there. But you can see how resilient that clover is. And that's 7 years old, and I mowed it, and it's been sprayed with herbicide for broadleaf and grasses with Slay and Arrest. And this is one of the fields we fertilized this spring. Let's go on back to the field we planted in 2015. Another clover plot we planted in 2015, had excellent results on it. That would make this field 3 years old, and it speaks for itself. Pretty much well weed clean and grass clean, and we fertilized that. Remember, it was 8 clear to the ground back in March, and got a spider on me. And this is the result of that 6-24-24, and come in there and really got it going. Hopefully we can resurrect that new field, and like I say, if not, we can take it out. As long as it's not lost, don't get in depression, just reload. And if we have to, we'll tear it out and put a fall annual back in there, and wait until 2019 spring, try it again. So that's it on the clover fields. Well, we planted this Alpha-Rack on April 25th. We got a pretty good stand. We got a lot of chicory in here, and this is the first time I've been up here. The clover field, I went down and looked at it and knew I had to mow it. This is the first time that I've been up here. I've been so busy that I haven't really been, like I've said earlier, it's really hard to get time sometimes to do these food plots. But I want to show you the chicory, the alfalfa, and the clover that came in here, and it did good. Now we got some broadleafs in there, but that's not a problem. We're going to mow them out. But we got a good stand of alfalfa plus the chicory. Normally if I had more time, I would have been up here and I might have maybe had some slay on here for the broadleaf when it got up a little bit. But it's just been, I can't believe it's the middle of June, and in like 2 weeks it'll be 4th of July. And this spring is just flown by. So I'll get the mowing and we'll get this cropped off. But all in all, I'm pleasantly surprised with it, and it's just going to get better with time. I want to take you out here in the middle and show you how thick this is. That alfalfa right there. That's not bad for the 15th day of June. And like I said, we got weeds in here and some grasses, but not that much. I'm not that concerned. But look at that, the chicory, the alfalfa. We got clovers back in there. It really grew in good. And the weeds aren't that far ahead of us up here. Not like they were down on the chicory. And there's some clover right there. So you have an Alpha-Rack mix, you know, Alpha-Rack plus. But in here, as you can see, really, really solid germination. And I wish I'd have got that kind of germination down there on the clover that was planted on the 13th, Friday the 13th. But this was planted on the 25th, as you've seen it. And it's really thick. Yeah, I'm not concerned about those broadleaf weeds because I can knock them out of there. But I really got a good stand of Alpha-Rack. We were blessed with timely rains and heat, and we'll get this thing mowed off, and then it ought to take off gangbusters. Like I say, this would be the first mowing of the alfalfa on this, and of the season. So I got a few bare spots up here, but that's nothing critical. I can overseed in that. That's why I dug that stump out. The dirt must have been a little funky right in there, but the rest really came in good. I'm going to make one thing, as I've always said, this ain't about me. It's just about growing things and helping you out, showing you some of the results. This dirt worked out perfect. It was too wet on the 13th. We let it go. We got a heck of a germination on it. Yeah, there's some weeds in there, but that's normal. We can get them out. But all in all, I'm totally satisfied with how this came out. Like I said, this is the 15th day of June. We planted it on April 25th, and it's a perennial. So it took some time for it to germinate. So let's get to mowing. Another thing, keep in mind, location. This is up high ground, on hilly ground. It's doing excellent. That root system of that alfalfa has really taken a hold, and it's just going to get better with time. So that's it from the Alpha-Rack Plus field. Like I said, you've seen us planted in the ground, and you know, I basically could have walked that if I pulled the weeds out, but it needs mowed to stimulate it. So that's it from the Alpha-Rack field. Well, we're up here again. It's the 15th of June. We planted this corn on the 9th of May, and here the old adage, knee high by 4th July. Well, you can see this corn this year is waist high on June 15th. So we got a real good stand of corn. Got rid of that water hemp. I plowed this field under. I came back in with clarity, and it really took the job, took those weeds right out. And we got the beans. I got to get my beans sprayed. I just planted them on the, let's see, I planted them 2 weeks ago. And I planted them in 38-inch rows this year because I want to battle that water hemp and pan down through here. But I'll get it sprayed, and we'll knock out those weeds and have a pretty good bean crop too. They're about 4 inches tall right now. So I just pan around here. Yeah, as you can see down through these rows, I really put a hurt on that water hemp that I had last year. I knocked it out big time. And now basically this corn's laid by. Like I said, it's waist high right now on me. And it's the 15th day of June, and I couldn't be happier. I got a weed clean field. I plowed that fine water hemp seed deep. I didn't film all that because I didn't have time, and on and on and on. But these are areas right in here where I left bare. I'm going to come in here and plant some hidden fossils or hidden treats. But you can see that clarity really did the job in here. It basically a weed free, and like I said, once again, here's corn. It's corn. It's all the way up to my waist. Anyhow, that's a phenomenal crop. Of course, it's just, everybody's having good times this year. Last year we had 1.5 inches of rain in the month of June. We've had 4.5 already, and the month only half through. And like I say, as I walk through this corn, it's over my waist. It won't be long before it's chest high. We get this heat with that 2.5 inches of rain we had the other night. This will jump up another foot here this weekend. And like I said, I'm going to come in here in these areas that I left bare, and I'm going to plant fall annual treats in here. We really got a good stand of corn, got a good stand of Alpha-Rack Plus. Came up a little short on my clover, but we'll work on that. And as you can see, we got an excellent crop of corn. Now my beans, I broadcasted a few beans over there, but I do got some the small weeds coming in, but I just wanted to give my bean crop a little bit more growth. So when I hit it with the herbicide, it has a little more resilience. Now they're Roundup Ready beans, so they're not going to be that big a deal, and I don't have that many. So we'll get in here and get this sprayed. It'd be way too windy today to spray, but we'll get after it. And like I say, you can row them, and they were planted on the first, which would have been basically been in the ground for 14 days, and a whole lot better than what it was last year. And we come down through here with that herbicide. We'll put the hurt on those velvet leaf that are in here. That'll knock it right out. Well, that's the update on my food plot videos. I didn't show much tillage work. I didn't show any tillage work or planting this year because I was too busy, and it's the same old, same old. But we got an excellent crop going, and yeah, I say rain makes grain. And heat helps too, because that's what I needed on that clover. But we'll see what that comes out. Well, that's a food plot update. spring of 2018, more like the summer. That's it from the non-typical.